evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambo.
I'm Ryan Baichu.
I'm Jovan Ravello with Sport.
And I'm Jamak Rampasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Detainees at Tetron and Stobles Bay refuse food, calling their living conditions inhumane and demanding immediate removal.
High Court judge urges citizens to keep the cameras rolling and document police conduct on duty.
Local government minister rejects claims of electoral map manipulation.
In sports, Club Sando in lockstep with Leaders Defence Force after pipping AC Port of Spain in TNT Premier League.
We're in for some drier conditions this week. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
Prisoners currently held at Tetron and Stobles Bay in Chaguanas have embarked on a hunger strike, demanding to be returned to the facilities they occupied before the state of emergency.
The 11 inmates transferred from the maximum security prison under preventative detention orders say the military-style facilities are unfit for human habitation. They accuse prison and police officials of using psychological pressure to break them and insist they should be returned to regular detention. The hunger strike began today with prisoners refusing all meals. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevaro responded, stating that inmates in lawful custody do not get to choose where they are housed, adding that assignments are based on security needs and available accommodation. He maintains both facilities meet the standards for lawful detention, but the prisoners claim their constitutional rights are being breached, alleging beatings, denial of legal counsel and family visits, poor sanitation and inhumane living conditions. The Prison Officers Association agrees incarceration must never become punishment in itself, warning the allegations raise serious human rights concerns, especially as many detainees have not yet been convicted of any offense.
High Court Judge Frank C. Prasad is tonight encouraging citizens to keep recording questionable police conduct while officers are on duty.
He made the call today while upholding a wrongful arrest and malicious prosecution lawsuit filed by a soldier. The soldier, Lance Corporal Elton King, was charged in 2020 for allegedly assaulting an officer after trying to record him during a traffic stop. Justice C. Prasad ruled in King's favor, saying he believed King's evidence over the officers, who appeared evasive and aggressive while testifying. The judge stressed that in the absence of laws holding officers accountable, body cameras should be mandatory. Until then, he said citizens should continue using their cell phones and CCTV cameras to document police conduct. He added that such recordings provide the best evidence, protect all parties, and build public trust in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Even if some officers resist being recorded, Justice C. Prasad ordered $100,000 in compensation. Now, there's no law or policy prohibiting the recording of police officers on duty.
Regional security expert Gavin Hira is supporting Justice Frank C. Prasad's call for citizens to video record police officers. Hira praised the High Court judge's recommendation, saying he also hopes to see the implementation of mandatory usage of body cams, not only for police officers, but all members of the Defence Force and prison service. Beyond that, Hira is now making his own recommendation for the establishment of a national interagency complaints authority.
This office, this system can investigate not only police officers, but all members of Homeland Security and Defense who would have crossed boundaries or who might have done things that are questionable, or at least there needs to be further investigations.
Former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith also agrees with the use of CCTV cameras and mobile phones to record officers. Meanwhile, the former Police Commissioner says calling out the riot police for a protest on Sunday was overkill.
Gary Griffith says the mere presence of the officers provided ammunition for the protesters, who are already convinced that police are being heavy-handed. Protesters yesterday were upset at the sight of the officers and questioned why such a peaceful expression against alleged police brutality warranted such a response. The protesters spoke out against the killing of Joshua Samaru and the wounding of his girlfriend Kaya Seeley. Griffith says there is no set protocol for calling out riot police, but it's usually done to quell disturbances, which was not the case on Sunday. Griffith says the laws should be changed, as there are many colonial laws that police officers waste time enforcing, including the need for permission to stage protests.
we still have this colonial law where your right to protest can only take place if a commissioner of police gives approval. That is what happened in this situation. But again, you have to look at the nature of the protest. This was a protest on a Sunday morning. There's no parliament, no one is around. The majority of the persons were elderly persons, women, children, and so forth. There were no scenes or plans for violence. They had no weapons or anything like that. So, again, my style would be different to this commissioner of police.
Griffith adds that the better approach would have been for the police commissioner himself to speak with the protesters instead of dispatching the riot squad.
CNC3 News reached out ahead of the Port of Spain Division Senior Superintendent Raymond Tom, who says the riot squad was called out to keep the peace and nothing more.
Well, on the back of that story, today we asked, do you support the calling out of the riot squad for yesterday's protest outside the Red House?
Here's what some of you had to say.
As a family grieving, they have rights, but it's not what we do sometimes, it's how we do it. But riot squad is a little heavy for just a family protest.
They're not supposed to call out the riot squad for that. They should let people have their legal rights.
People can protest against the police action, but they must also protest against those criminals like who shot at that little 11-year-old girl. They must also come out in their numbers to protest against those things also, not against the police alone.
I don't find nobody should be protesting. Your son now, or your nephew, or whoever this person is there, now went and do something against the law, and now the law is after you. The man didn't see you, do what you do, whatever time it was, that may be the case, and he fell 2 bullets and you get picked up, and it's sad to be that way. It's sad that your life is lost. It's sad that a family is grieving your loss right now. But you should not put yourself there in the first place. There's many other options for young men to find something to do. Come off a weed, come off a drinking, come off a cigarette. Go and find something to do. Men getting shoot.
I think that the family have the right to protest. It's their loved one, and they need to protect their loved ones with the assistance of the police, right? And the police guidance is important.
As a citizen, it's your rights to protest. It's your choice. As to the excessive force of the riot squad, I didn't see they having any ammunition, arms, or anything that could cause harm. So then I think that was a little too excessive. But that's just my opinion.
Head of the First Wave movement has warned of increased protest action across Trinidad and Tobago as he continues to call for the resignation of top cop Alistair Guevara. This follows the fatal police shooting of Joshua Samaru outside the police administration building in Port of Spain today. Abdullah said demonstrations would expand into communities nationwide if what he described as a lack of accountability and leadership within the TTPS persists. He has written to Commissioner Guevara requesting a meeting on behalf of the victims' family present. Abdullah claimed that no member of the TTPS has contacted Samaru's family as yet. Abdullah ripped up an image of the Punisher insignia which the top cop uses on his tactical uniform.
There is intention to go to every community and to have a protest campaign. We are going to continue to pressure the agencies to respond, like for instance the Punisher insignia that he wears on his arm, and he continues to wear. We have written to the commission, the police commission, and asked them to discipline the commissioner of police as regards to this. This is not part of the uniform. This is not the signal you ought to be sending to the populace of this country. And we warned the population that this was going to end in blood.
Abdullah further criticized the commissioner's decision to allow the officers involved in the killing to remain on duty.
A former acting police commissioner is pushing back against calls for the resignation of top cop Alistair Guevara. Stephen Williams is insisting that the police commissioner acted within his legal authority following the police shooting in St. Augustine that claimed the life of Joshua Samaru. Williams believes Guevara did not breach any law by opting not to suspend the police officers involved in the incident, but instead allowing them to receive counseling while investigations continue. His comment comes a day after Samaru's friends and relatives staged a demonstration outside the Red House, calling for both Guevara and Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander to step aside.
At this point in time, there is really nothing that he has done wrong, legally done wrong. Because if the law had said that whenever the police shooting, a person must be suspended, and the commissioner refused to comply with the law, then we could say, well, yes, he needs to step down because the law says one thing and he hasn't done what the law says.
Meanwhile, former National Security Minister Marvin Gonzalez described the initial deployment of the riot squad at Sunday's demonstration as forceful. He pointed out that the demonstrators were not committing any criminal offense.
If there continues to be the threatened use of force by state agencies to suppress dissent, then I think attorneys and the practitioners of law in our society need to look at this seriously and to bring the appropriate matter before a court of competent jurisdiction to ensure that citizens' constitutional rights are protected.
Gonzalez further cautioned against any abuse of state power, arguing that constitutional rights must be protected at all costs.
The murder of 25-year-old Hakim O'Brien last night, mere meters away from the Duncan Street police post, is being classified as gang-related.
The incident occurred around 6:15 p.m. and also left a 28-year-old man of Clifton Street injured. Officers at the Duncan Street police post heard loud explosions in the vicinity of Prince and Duncan Streets and arrived to find O'Brien on the roadway.
O'Brien had been driving his vehicle along Prince Street with two other people when their car was blocked by another vehicle. O'Brien attempted to reverse his vehicle and crashed into the bridge at the corner of Prince and Piccadilly Streets. He then ran. However, he was pursued by 4 assailants who shot him multiple times.
The vehicle was found abandoned at the corner of Piccadilly and Prince Streets. Officers recovered an iPhone and 1 rifle, as well as 20 rounds of ammunition on the back seat of the vehicle. Well, still to come in the news, illegal structures torn down in San Fernando HEC development. The corporation sends a strong warning to those breaking the rules.
Rat infestation at a primary school has parents keeping children at home. And tonight, the Education Ministry is finally responding to their concerns.
Coming up in sport, Brian Charles steals the show in TNT Cricket Board's Premier Division 1.
This is your captain speaking. Welcome to Carib Country. See the vibration.
Some Soca and I call Carib, feel it.
The Elections and Boundaries Commission has confirmed it was not asked to take part in the government's review of municipal corporation boundaries.
The issue has sparked political controversy, with the opposition accusing government of attempting to manipulate the electoral landscape ahead of the next local government elections, which are constitutionally due in 2027. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has described the cabinet-appointed review committee as a threat to democracy, warning it could undermine the constitutional role of the EBC. But Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin has rejected those claims, saying municipal boundaries are set by Act of Parliament and fall outside the EBC's remit, which is limited to electoral districts. Minister Amin insists the process is being led by an independent technocrat and is focused on long-standing population imbalances. She added that it will be transparent and professional. The Housing Development Corporation has demolished illegal structures at Magnolia Drive, Cypress Hills, San Fernando.
And Head of Security at HEC, Erwin Hackshaw, is warning that anyone who violates HEC's regulations will face the full brunt of the law. Residents had complained that a police officer was using the communal green space and car park for private and commercial purposes, blocking children and neighbors from access. As the demolition crew removed the structures today, President of the residents group, Tracy Ann Gomez, expressed her gratitude for the matter finally being addressed.
This is a victory not for me, not for the lady there, but for this whole compound and our children's future. We take it back, and with the help of whom? Mr. Alexander and his team, and that I sincerely and seriously appreciate that.
Shaw tells CNC3 News that if the officer continued to harass residents, further action will be taken.
We will monitor the behavior of the police officer, and we will have to engage probably the commissioner about this police officer behavior, because it's really very unprecedented that he's behaving this way. And we have to, probably the chairman or the manager director have to engage the commissioner to see what is to be done.
Housing Minister David Lee and Minister in the Ministry Philip Alexander are also warning all HEC tenants to comply with the law, or else they will be brought back in line. More death threats have surfaced over the weekend, targeting the Rio Claro East Secondary School, deepening fear among students, teachers and parents. And now the tutor president is questioning the delays in police enforcement. The threats, issued by someone using the name Kevin Randial, first appeared on TikTok last October and escalated again over the weekend. In one post, a letter addressed to the school warned that the campus would be the site of a tragic event on February 2nd, accompanied by graphic and violent language. Additional posts included direct threats against a named individual and the sharing of a vehicle registration number with a warning. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander previously said an arrest was expected soon. However, tutor President Crystal Ash criticized the delays in enforcement. Police have not confirmed whether the person behind the account has been identified or detained. Education Minister Michael Dowlett says he's following up on the matter.
The Education Ministry is tonight confirming that it is aware of concerns of rodents at the El Socorro South Government Primary School that has forced some parents to keep their children away for weeks. Protesting in front of the school today, parents point to an empty lot of land adjacent to the compound where they believe rodents are breeding. The parents say reports were made since last October. The ministry said the principal has engaged the owner to support coordinated upkeep of the surrounding area and that preventative baiting and sanitation were conducted by the regional corporation. But parent Mikel Joseph said this is news to them, as they have been unable to identify or contact the owner of any of the land, and any steps taken prior to that would be insufficient.
Misunderstand what we are saying. We know that this is an area that is prone to having those type of rodents, right? However, that is no excuse for the fact that the land, which is their breeding ground and habitat, still remains. It's as if you're trying to put a band-aid on a huge wound. You have to get rid of that first before doing any sort of baiting, any sort of cleaning. We have been told that they don't know who the owner is.
The parents told CNC3 News that rodents are now entering classrooms and that the school is not being honest about how serious the situation is. They said they are worried, as leptospirosis can begin with flu-like symptoms.
We heard about rats came from the children, to the point where they actually nicknamed one of them, one of the rats, Jerry, right? So they put a nickname of Jerry to the rats, which is funny, but it just shows that the children are also getting accustomed to seeing the rodents on the compound. And since we've been here, we saw 2 run across the compound.
The Education Ministry said school supervisors are currently engaging with staff and MTS personnel to assess the situation and will continue to monitor the situation to ensure the health and safety of all occupants. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. A man police call a serial fraudster is back in custody after allegedly pocketing thousands of dollars for a van.
We had mostly sunny, hazy and breezy conditions today with a few brisk isolated showers. I'll have the details on the dust and what we can expect this week coming up just after the break.
Okay, let me see you Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
Trinidad, the season of wins is here at Passat's The Food King and Bright Ideas. One season, many chances, big wins. From premium Leroy chocolates to Moet champagne and fine wine to booming sound systems, fully loaded coolers, and even 50-inch smart TVs. Here's how you can enter to win. For every $300 spent at Passat's The Food King or Bright Ideas, you receive 1 entry form, fill it out, and drop it in the entry box. Weekly weekly Carnival Cooler Line draws every Saturday and one massive grand finale. The season of wins ends on February 26th and the Grand Carnival draw on Saturday, February 28th. Shop, enter, and win in the season of wins.
Push on! Quality value, that's our way. A real push, that's we're here to stay. Push on!
Your immune system is your first line of defense. Discover BioStrath Immune Health. BioStrath Immune Health is enriched with zinc, ensuring that your body stays resilient. BioStrath Immune Health. Get what you need naturally.
If you want real energy, just sing on if you got time to. Good source of iron for me and for you. Make you feel like say you have energy for two. When you make a mad flex with you and your crew work late, or left the gym after two. Vigatan tonic the remedy for some man for sue. So sing on if you got time to. Vigatan, from your new energy you are defend. Just sing on if you got time then. Strong up your body, drink and come again. Vigatan 2 are the remedy, my friend.
Vigatan 2, good source of vitamin and iron for you.
Carnival is here, and so are the opportunities to protect your financial future. Celebrate the sound, protect your money, build your wealth. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission presents Rhythms of Wealth. Just like every steel pan matters in Panorama, every smart financial choice counts. This carnival, spot investment scams, make wise decisions, and protect your wealth, one beat at a time. Don't fall for those pressure tactics to join fast, or be fooled by promises of guaranteed quick returns. If you've been scammed by a pyramid or Ponzi scheme, report it to the TTSEC. Visit ttsec.org.tt or email complaints@ttsec.org.tt. Play your part, keep your rhythm, secure your future. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. You invest, we protect, everyone benefits. This week, the Review Tent continues home with Ladies' Night on Wednesday, 4th February. 2 persons on 1 ticket. Admission $350.
Then on Thursday, 5th and Friday, 6th February,
it's the Calypso Review Tent Stars on full display. Admission $200 with Sugar Aloes along with the Review Stars. Pink Panther, Skatey, Devon Steele, Singing Sonia, Michelle Henry, Mighty Diamond, Saint Nick, Nicole Grace, Mace, JD, Fire Tender, Sasha and Moses, Tempo,
Kurt Allen,
Nisa, Alana Sinette, Lackaman, Organizer,
Orlando Octave.
From Barbados, Mighty Gabby, your MCs, Marcus Batiste, Tommy Joseph, and the Chairman. Tickets at the Review 10 box office, SWWTU Hall. This is your opportunity to experience the Calypso Review Tent. For info, call 797-5850.
With lots of giveaways.
This is what Calypso is all about. Showtime, 8 p.m. each night.
Welcome back. An Aruca man described by police as a, quote, serial fraudster was arrested yesterday and is expected to be charged after failing to hand over a vehicle to the buyer despite receiving cash.
Police say the man, who has been charged in excess of 100 times over the years for fraud-related offenses, reportedly received $74,000 from a man last July in exchange for a Nissan panel van. However, attempts to contact the suspect for several months were unsuccessful.
A report was made to the fraud squad, who arrested the man on Sunday afternoon. Police are urging the public to be cautious when agreeing to conduct transactions with strangers, especially over items which are being offered at prices significantly lower than the regular retail price.
Minister of Works and Infrastructure Julian John confirms that the inter-island vessel TNT Spirit has been temporarily withdrawn from service following technical difficulties. However, she sought to assure that the MV Blue Harmony is expected to return to the Sea Bridge later this week. Minister John explains that the APT James was deployed to transport those affected.
Yes, so it departed at 9:30 a.m. With about 250 passengers. And then whilst operating, based on what I'm told, in the vicinity of the North Coast, they started to experience some technical difficulties, right? It got into Scarborough under what we call control conditions. And then we, after they got into Scarborough, we brought the vessel back down without any passengers. We sent up the APT James to pick up the people. But we have withdrawn it from service to allow for technical review and perhaps repairs to its engines.
Meanwhile, Chief Secretary Foley Augustine appealed for patience and grace during this disruption to the Sea Bridge. Augustine said the Sea Bridge issue threatens to affect commerce and steel pan events. However, he sought to assure that the relevant agencies are working quickly to restore full service.
All right, Jean-Marc, Carnival momentum gaining here in Trinidad and Tobago. What type of weather can we expect for this momentum?
Well, there's some good news. This week is expected to be a bit drier than the start we've had to the year so far, which was relatively wet. So I'm sure everyone is going to enjoy the dry and breezy conditions this week. Let's take a look at some of the features on the satellite. So I have a slightly wider view this evening so that we can see this long band of clouds extending out into the central Caribbean Sea. That was initially associated with the cold front that passed Florida over the weekend and has now stalled, so it's now called a stationary front, meaning it won't travel any further into the Caribbean, just retreat northward while slowly weakening. Now, the low temperatures across the western Caribbean dipped down into the single digits early this morning, but we won't be getting in on the chilly conditions here in the eastern Caribbean, unfortunately. So the forecast for tonight, mostly fair but hazy, with 1 or 2 brief light to moderate showers favoring eastern areas of Trinidad. Overnight lows of 23 in Trinidad and 24 over in Tobago. Tomorrow we can expect mostly sunny and breezy conditions, with the Saharan dust concentration decreasing into tomorrow down to a negligible level by Wednesday or Thursday. There's also the medium chance of a few showers. However, with the breezy conditions, the rainfall will be light to moderate and generally brisk. Sea conditions are moderate, with waves in open waters up to 2.5 meters and near 1 meter in sheltered areas. Winds are expected out of the east at about 15 knots. Now, looking ahead, brisk showers between tomorrow and Wednesday, but even drier conditions are expected later on in the week. Winds should be a bit lighter closer to the weekend, so that will result in some warmer conditions during the daytime. As you can see, the highs range from 31 with the breezy conditions to 33 by the weekend. Now, those light winds may also translate into cooler nights as well, with lows around 22 degrees on some nights. Now, I looked even further ahead, and some Saharan dust is expected to return early next week, but that's still a long way away. Now, while we were enjoying the warm and breezy conditions perfect for fetting here this weekend, the southeastern United States was literally freezing, with iguanas falling out of the trees yet again. Now, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission issued an executive order to allow people to remove live, cold-stunned green iguanas from the wild without a permit, but they had to deliver them to one of the commission's offices. In Florida, iguanas are considered invasive, but still a prohibited species. I'm sure the local hunters here will be watching and salivating at this sight right now. But the question is, if you were in this situation, pet or pot?
Easy answer for me. I don't eat meat. So.
Pot. Maybe pot. Yeah.
Right.
What about you?
Good choice. Probably pot as well.
Oh, dear. Well, good thing we're not there. Thank you so much, Jean-Marc. Let's tell you what's still to come with the news. Trinidadian conductor Kwame Ryan wins Grammy for Best Opera Recording, showcasing Caribbean excellence on the global stage.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Trinidad, it's the season of wins at Passat's The Food King. Shop more, save more, and win more. Creamery yogurt, 4 tubs for 20. Catelli tomato ketchup, 750 ml, 3 for 20. Golden brand margarine, 3 sticks for 20. Creamery ice cream, 2 gallons, now 99. Fruta Cool Kids, 200 ml, 4 packs, now $10. Sierra Chicken Franks, 3 packs for 20. Country Pride all-purpose flour, 2 kilograms, 2 for $24.99. Richport vegetable oil, 3 liters, $49.99. Caribbean parboiled rice, 4 kilograms, $35.99. Swiss pasta cuts, 300 grams, 4 for 20. Matux guava jam, 307 grams, 2 for $21.99. MP's peanut butter, 250 grams, 2 for 20. Fresh Harvest peas and carrots, 4 tins, 20. Rosemont chicken Vienna sausage, 4 tins, $20. And remember, for every $300 spent, you can enter to win fully loaded coolers, sound systems, 50-inch smart TVs, and more in the season of wins.
Quality value, that's our way. That's we're here to stay. The Food King. Besides,
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
Get a free pair of polarized sunglasses with the purchase of new Gen S Transitions lenses with anti-reflective coating and frames. Selected designer frames now just $4.99 with additional promotions. Hurry, limited time only at Seaview Optical.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for life.
In tonight's Business Watch, several business groups are urging dialogue and accountability in the wake of public calls for the resignation of Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara.
Also, expect more Chinese vehicles on the nation's roadways as dealers aim to provide more value for money for motorists. Peter Christopher tells us more.
Three business groups have weighed in on calls for Top Cop Alistair Guevara to resign. The Greater San Fernando Chamber of Commerce believes it is critical that a thorough investigation be conducted into the shooting incident with full transparency regarding the circumstances that led to it. It adds clear and factual communication is essential to maintaining public trust. The Greater Tunapuna Chamber of Industry and Commerce says it is important for all stakeholders to engage in calm, constructive dialogue focused on improving effectiveness and reinforcing public confidence. The Tunapuna Chamber adds strong institutions are built through transparency, collaboration, and continuous improvement. The Chaguanas Chamber of Commerce noted increased police activity, improved visibility on the nation's roadways, and clearer operational leadership within the police service. These are practical factors that continue to contribute to safer environments and greater increased confidence among businesses and citizens. Value for Money is encouraging more local dealers to import vehicles from China. Evolve Mobility, a recently established company, is importing 6 Chinese brands with hopes of encouraging more adoption of electric vehicles in the country. Evolve Mobility General Manager Vinda Baran said the Chinese brands have proven electric does not have to be costly, nor does luxury.
We imported 3 vehicles for ourselves for Evolve. We tested the vehicles and realized that, hey, these vehicles are really good vehicles. They can withstand the roads in Trinidad and Tobago, and they're packed with a lot of features and technology, right? So that's what prompted me to start this business, to really ensure that you can afford luxury by not paying a luxurious price.
Cost factor also figured in LaFast Motors' decision to expand its Photon line with the Tunland V9 truck last week. The Chinese brand was introduced by the dealer last July and has already sold double digits. The Tunland is a mild hybrid van. As LaFast states, it recognizes the continued relevance of advanced combustion and hybrid technologies in addition to electric vehicles. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Peter Christopher, CNC3 Business Watch.
This country could be mere months away from being one non-stop flight away from the African continent.
In an update to reporters, Minister of Trade, Industry and Tourism Satyakama Maharaj explained that the intention is to create a transatlantic hub connecting Africa to the Caribbean with Trinidad and Tobago as the epicenter, cutting the journey time from 2 days to mere hours.
That's going to open new markets, both for trade, investment, but also more importantly for tourism. We are looking at early April.
As government seeks to diversify the economy, Maharaj has been pushing for increased trade with the African continent as a possible solution. He was speaking at yesterday's inaugural Win Air launch at the Piarco International Airport. Well, the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence has unveiled 5 new laureates.
Representing Barbados, Jamaica and Guyana, these outstanding individuals were selected by a distinguished panel this evening. In arts and letters, Barbadian visual artist Sheena Rose. In entrepreneurship, Jamaican telecommunications innovator Dean Nevers. In public and civic contributions, Barbadian social activist Shamel Rice. And in science and technology, a joint award, Guyanese-American biotech pioneer Dr. Nevin Narain, alongside Jamaican climate scientist Professor Tanisha Stevenson. Each laureate receives the equivalent of $500,000 Trinidad and Tobago dollars to continue their work in uplifting communities and advancing excellence across the Caribbean. Well, Trinidad and Tobago shone brightly on the Grammy stage on Sunday night as local talent won awards in music video and classical music categories.
Kwame Ryan, a Trinidadian-Canadian conductor and former director of the UTT Academy for the Performing Arts, won the Grammy Award for Best Opera Recording for the Houston Grand Opera production of composer Jake Heggie's Intelligence. Program leader for UTT's Academy for the Performing Arts, Dr. Roger Henry, expressed his congratulations to Ryan, noting that it's not just an achievement for the university, but for the wider region.
It's a milestone for Caribbean artistry, especially in the realm of classical music. You know, it's a reminder to the world and to Caribbean students, and particularly students and musicians in Trinidad and Tobago, that, you know, our musicians and artists from Trinidad and Tobago and the wider region operate at the highest international level.
Also copying a Grammy Award was Trinbagonian producer Jolene Mendez, who was part of the production team behind hip-hop star Doechie's hit song Anxiety. The team won the Grammy Award for Best Music Video. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles took to social media to congratulate both Ryan and Mendez.
She said these achievements signal a future in which Trinidad and Tobago artists are not only participants but leaders on the world stage.
Congratulations to both. Very proud moment for Trinidad and Tobago. Well, it's now time for sport. And here there's a Trinbagonian in the World Cup semis, Jovan.
Yes, Ria, the West Indies may be out, but Trinidad and Tobago umpire Zahid Basarath is set to officiate an ICC Under-19 Men's World Cup semi-final. And we check in with TNT's Junior Warriors set to begin CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Details when sport returns.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2 Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Thank you for celebrating all special moments with us. For exclusive offers, call us at 701-6488, 701-6680 or 775-9191 or visit our website to order.
Welcome back. It's time for sport. Club Sando kept pace with Leaders Defence Force in the latest round of matches in the Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League. The Southerners edged former champs AC Port of Spain at the Manny Ranjan Stadium on Sunday. Carson Cupid has the highlights.
The city of San Fernando and the country's capital were represented in the second encounter of a doubleheader at the Manny Ramjan Stadium on Sunday. Club Sando's hospitality only extended as far as hosting the clash, as it didn't take long for them to break the deadlock, Jaheim Joseph giving them the lead. Their second was a classic training ground routine, exposing the holes in the AC Port of Spain's defense for Luke Phillips to make it 2-0. Complete meltdown by the capital boys in the 17th when Chevenet's Hamilton stretched the lead to 3-0. In first half injury time, Robert Primus pulled one back for AC despite a valiant effort from the Sando defenders. Well into the second half, Nathan Lewis found Primus again, whose delicate touch in the 77th pulled AC within 3 goals to 2. They tried to get level but couldn't, as Club Sando held on for the 3-2 victory. Earlier, Sawan Jabalti and Terminix Lockett Rangers locked horns. Rangers won an early penalty when their man was fouled. Kevin Woodley gave them the lead from the spot in the 18th minute. Jabalti went looking for the leveler but could not find the net until this Jaheim Forsen shot in the 56th, which was too hot to handle. The Samoa Kings level at 1-1. Forsen was back in the 74th, showing his speed and strength to make the score 2-1. He was robbed of a hat-trick by the offside flag, but the 3 points were already secured. Jabalti coming from behind to win 2-1. To the standings, Defence Force still sits 3 points clear of Club Sando in second, Police is third with 30, followed by Prisons, AC Port of Spain is fifth, and Central FC. Rangers are in the basement with 9 points, Point Fortin Civic and Eagles have 10 points each, Caledonia is 9th, Phoenix is 8th, and Jabalti is 7th. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
Good to see things heating up. Now, downstairs, the TTPFL's Tier 2 kicked off over the weekend with a full round of matches. The season started with defending champs Defence Force falling to Police, FC 4-1. Canby Mount Pleasant FC and Malabar Young Stars recorded big wins over Matura Reunited and UTT 5-2 and 3-0 respectively. Kareem Batiste, a 26-minute penalty gave Harlem Strikers a 1-0 win over QPCC, while Central Soccer World and Palo Seco Union Hall United were inseparable in a goalless stalemate. Trinidad and Tobago's national under-17 footballers will head into battle against in the CONCACAF under-17 qualifiers when it gets underway tomorrow at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Drawn in Group A, the Young Warriors will play Mexico, St. Martin after they open against Barbados tomorrow from 7 p.m. At today's pre-match press conference, head coach Randolph Boyce expressed great expectations of his squad, noting that togetherness is their strength.
We look for all the players to put the best foot forward to see if we have a star player. No. I don't treat players in terms of that this young age to give them that kind of mantle to put them under any pressure. It's a team game. We play the game as a collective and everybody know the role and function, so we look for the best of every player.
Looking back at the friendlies against Peru, in which the Warriors suffered back-to-back 6-0 and 6-1 defeats, Boyce defended the decision to face the South Americans. He said history has shown that these kinds of opponents consistently stand in the way of TNT's progress at World Cups at various levels.
Until we could close the gap between those countries, I think you had the answer for the rest. So we need to close that gap. So in my opinion, those are the type of countries we need to continue be playing on a regular basis if we could, to be able to close that gap.
From the 8 groups, only the winners will book a spot at the 2026 FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Qatar later this year in November. Now, Brian Charles stole the spotlight in the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board's Premier Division 1 on Sunday, leading Queen's Park to a win over Clark Road by an innings and 82 runs. It was their second innings victory in as many matches. Ian Wilson reports.
Resuming on 218 for 5 at the Oval and a lead of 104 over KFC Clark Road on first innings, Queen's Park sped to 303 for 6 declared. Yannick Carrier's dismissal on 64 with the score at 303 prompted the declaration, leaving Terence Hines 51 not out. Then with Clark Road 189 runs in arrears, Nicholas Sukhdev Singh and Vikash Mohan got the penal team up to 33 with some positive batting. Brian Charles struck by removing the dangerous Sukhdev Singh for 12. 10 runs later, Kari Pierre turned back Yannick Utley for 4. Mark Dale's wicket was Clark Road's third with 51 runs on the board. Anderson Mahes got to 3 before he was out at 56 for 4. Barbadian Cheyenne Braffett came in and shared in a 15-run partnership with Mohan. But then Clark Road lost 5 wickets for 21 runs, starting with Mohan for 39. Charles was chief among the wicket takers, taking the scalps of Kerwin Surju, Shiva Shankar and Cheyenne Braffett to reach an outstanding figures of 8 for 36 as Clark Road were routed for 107 in 33.5 overs to lose by an innings and 82 runs. But Charles was not the only 8-wicket general on Sunday. Ricky Jaipal claimed 8 for 77 for Best Motors Marching Patriots in their win over Victoria. Victoria made 193 all out in their second innings before Patriots raced to 34 for 1 in 4 overs to win by 9 wickets. In other matches, Kevin Sinclair and Anil Ruplal took 5 wickets each in Central Sports' Yorkshire 9-wicket win over Mary Boys at Kunjal. And at Sign Village, Avinash Mahabir Singh took 4 for 24 in Powergen's innings win over Prisons. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks, Ian. Now, the Red Force Divas ended their Cricket West Indies Women's Super 50 tournament on a high with a 5-wicket DLS win over Barbados at Cumberland St. Vincent over the weekend. Barbados chose to bat first and were restricted to 152 for 9 in 48 overs. Anisa Mohammed's form with the ball continued as she took 4 for 26. Nadia Mohammed took 3 for 24. Aliyah Lane made 43 to top score for the Bajans. In reply, the TNT Divas got 35 from Janeba Joseph and 34 from Chanel Saw as they got to 133 for 5 in 38.4 overs. Jamaica won the title when they beat Leewards by 8 wickets at Sion Hill. In the pool, Diego Martin Secondary, Queen's Royal College and St. Joseph's Convent, Port of Spain led a gluttony of goals in the Secondary Schools Water Polo League on Saturday. Action was held at the Diego Martin Community Pool, and we have the highlights.
A competitive second quarter between Providence Girls Catholic School's Form 1 team and St. Joseph's Convent Port of Spain had the latter team trying their utmost to add to the 2 goals they managed to get past Anaya John in the first period. But John was desperate not to concede any further, pulling off some fine point-blank saves. However, her resistance would be broken in the second period with regular St. Joseph's goalie Isabella Sanois finally beating her opposite number. Tournament rules allow goalies to play out, and Sanois and SJC Port of Spain used that rule to get a 4-0 lead. Provi on the charge through Dana Marie Simon, who was eventually impeded but could not convert the penalty, denied by the save. However, with a second bite, she made good on the attempt for her team's only goal of the match. Sanois alone netted 6 for St. Joseph's Port of Spain, with 4 of them in the fourth period. Danielle Popplewell matched that 6-goal haul, and along with 1 each for Alex Campbell and Kasik Dabo, led St. Joseph's Convent Port of Spain to a 14-1 win. Even with a fair share of misses, QRC also managed to smuggle 14 past Trinity Mocha, 14-7 the final result, while Diego Martin Secondary's boys hammered Fatima College 23-6. Even so, those weren't the best returns. Diego Martin Secondary's girls whipped Holy Name Convent 26-11, and Bishop Anstey shut out Corpus Christi 16-0.
On the regional front, TNT umpire Zahid Basarath stands in an ICC Under-19 men's semi-final, and Jamaica's Bonnie Shaw bullies Chelsea's women in the WSL.
Trinidad and Tobago cricket umpire Zahid Basarath has been appointed to officiate the ICC Under-19 Men's World Cup semi-final between Australia and England set for February 3rd. Basarath's appointment, announced by the ICC International Panel of Umpires and Referees on Monday, comes fresh after officiating England's commanding victory over New Zealand in the Super 6 stage. He will be joined by India's Virendra Sharma, with New Zealander Sean Haig and Englishman Russell Warren officiating the other semi between India and Afghanistan. In football, Jamaican international Khadija Bonnie Shaw's first-half goal helped Manchester City crush defending champions Chelsea 5-1 and extend their lead at the top of England's Women's Super League on Sunday. Shaw scored in the 36th minute, and along with a hat-trick by Brazilian Caroline and a late strike by Vivian Miedema, condemned Chelsea to a third defeat, leaving them in third place on 27 points. Manchester City, meanwhile, rose to 29 points, 11 more than second-placed Manchester United, with 8 matches remaining in the season.
Thanks, Jassy. Now for our Sport High tonight, we head to the TTPFL for a great team goal. Enjoy.
For a brief moment in their match against Club Sando, AC Port of Spain synced up perfectly. The movement was fluid, the passing was crisp, and the finish was sharp. Yes, what an exquisite goal. So AC Port of Spain for that well-worked team goal knocked in by Luke Phillip. You earned tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
Cooperation makes it happen, guys.
All right, always. Thank you so much, Jovan. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Trinidad, it's the season of wins at Facades de Food King. Shop more, save more, and win more. Creamery yogurt, 4 tubs for 20. Catelli tomato ketchup, 750 ml, 3 for 20. Golden brand margarine, 3 sticks for 20. Creamery ice cream, 2 gallons, now 99. Fruta Cool Kids, 200 ml, 4 packs, now $10. Sierra Chicken Frank, 3 packs for 20. Country Pride all-purpose flour, 2 kilograms, 2 for $24.99. Richport vegetable oil, 3 liters, $49.99. Caribbean Parboiled rice, 4 kilograms, $35. $5.99. Swiss Pasticots 300 grams, 4 for $20. Matux Guava Jam 307 grams, 2 for $21.99. MP's peanut butter 250 grams, 2 for $20. Fresh Harvest peas and carrots 4 tins $20. Rosemont chicken Vienna sausage 4 tins $20. And remember, for every $300 spent, you can enter to win fully loaded coolers, sound systems, 50-inch smart TVs, and more in the season of wins.
Quality value, that's our way. The real Bushlights, we're here to stay. The Food King. Bushlights.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Authorities in the Dominican Republic are investigating a gruesome discovery along the southern border with Haiti. Police confirmed that the bodies of 4 decapitated Haitian women were found.
Investigators believe the victims were killed and thrown into a river, which then swept the bodies to their eventual locations. Because only 1 body was found on the Dominican side, local officials are only investigating that single death.
Dominican Republic police say 1 man was detained but has since been turned over to Haitian authorities after denying involvement. It is unclear if he currently faces charges.
While gang violence remains common across Haiti, officials say the nature of this discovery is extraordinarily rare. U.S. President Donald Trump said he will reduce tariffs on Indian goods in exchange for their promise to stop buying Russian oil.
Trump said he spoke with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who agreed to replace Russian crude exports with oil from Venezuela and the United States. But that shift could be difficult. According to global trade data, India currently imports about 1.5 million barrels of Russian oil each day. Venezuelan oil is similar in quality to Russian oil, but the country's oil infrastructure is dilapidated and could take years to rebuild under the deal. Tariffs on Indian goods will drop to 18%, down from 50%. The White House says an additional 25% tariff imposed last August will be fully removed. The 68th Annual Grammy Awards featured powerful performances and preaching on politics.
And some big names taking home equally big awards. Here are the highlights from CNN.
Bad Bunny, debí tirar más fotos.
An overwhelmed Bad Bunny warmed up for the Super Bowl by accepting 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year.
I'm going to say, eyes out. We don't hate them. We love our people. We love our family. And that's the way to do it. With love.
Immigration was also on the minds of Song of the Year winners Billie Eilish and Phineas.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
And Best New Artist winner Olivia Dean.
I guess I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
Jelly Roll celebrated Jesus after winning a trio of trophies.
Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him.
Talk about a trailblazer.
A lengthy in memoriam segment featured Reba McEntire's first ever Grammys performance. And all-star tributes to Ozzy Osbourne and to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack.
I feel like making love. Kendrick Lamar!
The night's biggest winner was Kendrick Lamar with 5 awards, including Record of the Year, giving him 27 lifetime, passing Jay-Z as the Grammy's most awarded rapper.
So I appreciate y'all. God is the glory. Love y'all.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The countdown countdown is on for the 2026 Junior Soca Competition final.
Earlier today, the young finalists took part in the official draw to determine their positions on the stage for the finals. At the Education Towers in Port of Spain, Line Minister Dr. Michael Dowlad congratulated the 22 finalists representing 11 primary schools and 9 secondary schools. Dr. Dowlad highlighted the importance of school carnival programs, noting that the ministry remains committed to investing in culture through the education system, and that every school carnival event is to be a safe zone, allowing creative expression and promoting unity.
Carnival in our schools must always reflect the best of who we are, and that is joyful. We are disciplined, we are respectful, and most importantly, we are united.
The finals will be held at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts on February 10th. Well, the Queen's Park Savannah came alive yesterday as thousands attended this year's National Panorama semi-finals for medium and large steel bands.
Preliminary results saw BP Renegades topping the large steel band category, while Pan Elders Steel Orchestra scored the highest points in the medium band category. Here are some highlights. Well, the medium band finals will take place on February 8th at the Dwight York Stadium in Scarborough, while the Queen's Park Savannah hosts the large band finals on February 14th.
Carnival celebrations in Chaguanas will have new energy this year.
For the first time in nearly a decade, masqueraders will perform on a stage, and the borough is rolling out new events to keep the festivities alive.
The launch of Chaguanas Carnival took place on Saturday. Here's more.
For Chaguanas Carnival lovers, that's exactly what they plan to do. And this year, their celebration is getting a major upgrade. For the first time in nearly a decade, masqueraders will perform on a stage this Carnival Monday and Tuesday.
We met with the bands and they asked for a stage. We crunched our budget, and yes, we can facilitate a stage, and there's going to be a stage after maybe 6 or 7 years or so. There's going to be a stage returning to Chaguanas Carnival.
The stage will be built along Ramsrun Street at a cost of about $100,000, with the borough still finalizing its overall carnival budget. At Saturday's launch of Chaguanas Carnival 2026, Deputy Mayor Melissa Jadunanan said the stage was a promise they had to fulfill.
Band leaders were close to tears, letting us know that what masqueraders needed was a stage. My committee and I sat down and we put our heads together as to how we can actually fulfill a promise for a stage for the masqueraders. And we've been able to do that with NTC's subvention.
The borough also unveiled new events: stick fighting, a king and queen of the bands competition, and an extampo contest.
We're hoping that it draws a huge crowd to Ramsrun Street, because everything is going to take place this year on Ramsrun Street, starting again on a Friday the 13th, and it's going to go all the way to Carnival Tuesday.
The launch began in Montrose and moved along the Chaguanas Main Road, where entertainers Swappy, Majestic, and Stubby had everyone moving. Bafita Gopalchan, CNC3 News.
Looked like a lot of fun.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It's time to recap our headlines. Detainees at Tetron and Stobels Bay refuse food, calling their living conditions inhumane and demanding immediate removal.
High Court judge urges citizens to keep the cameras rolling and document police conduct on duty.
In sports, Club Sando in lockstep with Leaders Defence Force after pipping AC Port of Spain in TNT Premier League.
And in the weather for tomorrow, mostly sunny, hazy and breezy conditions despite the odd brisk shower.
As we leave you, let's remind you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms.
There you'll find tonight's stories, the latest updates and exclusive content, and don't forget to pick up a copy of the TNT Guardian newspaper.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambley.
I'm Ryan Bateshu.
I'm Jovan Ravello.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rampersad. Have a good night.